everybody. Oh, we're doing another small town video here in Greeneville, Tennessee. Population of just over 15,000. And it's also the home of President Andrew Johnson. And the national park actually has, there's his first home. He had two homes here in Greeneville. He's originally from North Carolina, but they've got lots of stuff here that's dedicated to him. We're going to check out all of that, and of course we're going to check out the town itself. So come on along as we check this cool little town out. Okay, so our first stop here in Greeneville is, well, it's the National Historic Site of President Andrew Johnson, who was born in Greeneville in sometime or another. Anyways, he was the 17th president. He took over right after President Kennedy was killed. And we're about to step into the visitor center here. And right there, that's his first home, I want to say. It's the early home. Right there. And it looks like the back door is open. I think I'm gonna go over there and take a look. Be right back. Okay, so if we can go in, this is his early home again. So Johnson family tree. So he was born in 1808. So he was a tailor, and his tailor shop is here in town somewhere. I'm not sure we'll find it. We'll go see it here in a little bit. And it talks about his early life, how he grew up in poverty and wound up being the president of the United States. So, events in the life of Andrew Johnson. Was born, got married in 1827, his first child, 1828. 1829, elected to his first public office as alderman in the town of Greeneville, where we're at. And so on and so on. Andrew Johnson served in Congress before he became Vice President of the United States. And again, President Lincoln's Vice President. He became the president and Lincoln was assassinated April 14th in 1865. He became the 17th president and served as president until March 4th, 1869. He was not elected to a second term as president, but he did get re-elected as a senator 6 years later. That's interesting. Yeah, there is a second floor to this place, but apparently you cannot go up there. And here's a little story about the processes they use to restore this place. Anyway, we're going to go pop back over to the visitor center. Okay, so we are inside the visitor center, and I mentioned how he was a tailor in his early life, and I said we were going to check out, we were going to try to find his tailor shop. So here it is. They built the visitor center building around this tailor shop. That's just crazy. So I guess you can't go in, but preserving the tailor shop. The Andrew Johnson Tailor Shop was owned by the president's descendants until 1921, when Andrew Johnson Patterson, the president's grandson, deeded the property to the state of Tennessee. The state then appropriated the funds necessary to protect and preserve the shop by enclosing it in a brick structure. That's crazy. Many of the known remaining pieces of equipment used by Johnson during his tailoring years are housed in this building. These include the tailoring bench made for him by his brother, tailoring gooses, and a stove for heating it, a pair of candle molds and a water pitcher. So that's pretty crazy. A wedding coat made by Andrew Johnson. There's more of it. Closer look. A. Johnson, tailor. When Andrew Johnson became president, it is said that he rented his tailor shop to William Johnson and his mother Dolly, who had been his slaves. According to Margaret Johnson Patterson Bartlett, Johnson's great-granddaughter, William was a wonderful cook. For a while after the Civil War, both William and his mother lived in Andrew Johnson's tailor shop in Greeneville, where they baked and sold pies. Wow, I didn't expect this. But we're fixing to go watch a little short film about him here in just a minute. I'll take a couple of pictures though. Be back. I didn't realize just how much noise interference caused by the visitor center's cooling systems would be picked up by my camera. It didn't seem that loud as we walked around the preserved tailor's cabin and the other museum displays. I recorded this episode on our new GoPro, and I didn't realize just how sensitive the microphone was on this new camera until the editing process. I'll keep that in mind for future recordings. And it says over here, Andrew Johnson was impeached. Was Andrew Johnson impeached? Yes, 1868. First president to ever be impeached by the House of Representatives. Impeachment was a result of the long and increasingly hostile battle between President Johnson and Congress over opposing Reconstruction policies. Of course, this follows the Civil War. Of course, vote to convict him, so not guilty. Johnson returned to Greeneville in 1869 after Ulysses Grant was inaugurated. The Bible that was used when he was inaugurated. Pretty cool. Be back. So we're in the little theater about to watch the film The Life of President Andrew Johnson. Not going to bore you with the whole film, so we'll be back. Okay, so right here is a replica of Andrew Johnson's birth home in North Carolina. So he wasn't born here in Greeneville, he just lived here. And this is a replica of that home, which is preserved in Raleigh, I think, North Carolina. So that's pretty cool. All right, be back. Okay, right across from Visitor Center is a statue of President Andrew Johnson. Gorgeous little stream going right through town here. As we make our way down towards his homestead. Okay, so we shall be back. Okay, so we are approaching Andrew Johnson homestead. Where we're going to be, look at these weeping willows here. Gorgeous. Anyways, we're going to be touring the place. Apparently that's not it. Not sure what this is, but I'm sure this sign right here is going to tell me. Seth Babb Log House. Constructed in 1787, originally located in Newmansville community of Greene County. Identified as one of the county's oldest structures. It was disassembled and rebuilt in 2015 by Fox Park, who is a descendant of Seth Babb. Okay. So we're still trying to find his house, and I can see some signs right there pointing over here. So I'm assuming that brick house right there is the actual homestead of President Johnson. We shall return. So check that out. City Garage Car Museum. Of course, it's Sunday and it's closed. It's right across from Andrew Johnson's homestead house. But yeah, it looks like an old city garage converted into a car museum. And I'm going to try popping over there, see if the traffic dies down. Yeah, cross over there, of course, it's closed. Greeneville History Museum. It looks like that used to be the school. In fact, I can kind of see. This is Green County School. I think that's what it says. I'll get closer to it later. But anyways, there's Andrew Johnson's home. And we got about 25 minutes. The sheriff's car. Be back. Okay, so while waiting for our tour to begin in about 20 minutes, I'm going to walk around the property a little bit. Gorgeous piece of property. Here's the other side of the home. You see there's another tour currently going on. Big difference from that first home. And of course, there's a historical downtown of Greeneville, which we will check out after this. The National Park Service maintains the Andrew Johnson homestead to look as it did while Johnson lived in the home with his family from 1869 to 1875. Though Johnson bought this home in 1851, the home was occupied by troops during the Civil War. This required extensive renovations of the home when the family returned in 1869 after Johnson left the presidency. The family adorned the home with Victorian furnishings and political gifts. 3 generations of the Johnson family occupied the home until the home was turned over to the National Park Service. Most everything inside the home are original family artifacts, and, as a history buff, I was enthralled by the tour, which is free. If y'all love history like I do, I highly recommend a visit.
This adjustable chair is one of my favorite pieces in the whole house because they don't build chairs like that anymore, and I am just a sucker for unusual technology. So, in the mid-19th century, furniture builders started being able to build chairs you could adjust. Part of that was from vandalized by the soldiers passing through.
Go ahead.
And to add insult to injury, while the Johnsons were in Washington during the presidency, sometimes the neighbors would come in and vandalize his house as well. When Park Service renovated in the 1950s, we documented a lot of the graffiti and we saved a piece inside the line.
Is that a sewing machine?
It says Andrew Johnson, the old trader. And there is a year. That's a joke, but that actually happened downstairs.
Yeah.
So
this is the bedroom, the middle door?
this,
the second door?
Mary's room was in there.
Okay.
Martha does not have a room here. Martha, the oldest daughter, has a house next door. She's married. When they get back after the presidency, she has a husband, David Patterson, and they have 2 kids, and they live next door. But they come over and play with Mary's kids. So this room is for Mary's kids. And Andrew Johnson Patterson. And the little dress in there was worn by Mary's son, Andrew Johnson's daughter. That was on the house.
It's really cool.
They didn't make pants for little boys back then. They had to be job trained for.
The dining room. So you got the old clock.
Even though they're not connected to the house, these 2 rooms are part of the original house. And when you look in them, this brother. And when she did that, she moved the dining room over here. Look in this room, you may see some leftover food, but you know what? They're getting paid for it because it's not Andrew Johnson's family that's doing it. They've got paid servants that are doing the cooking and delivering food and all that.
Eliza's not down here, or Mary.
Eliza, Mary, no, they're not here probably at all. Prior to the Civil War, they had...
Okay, so we're done with the tour. Andrew Johnson's house. That was pretty cool. And now we're going to walk up Main Street here. And we got some other historic homes right across the street. Valentine Seaver home. I can't read the date. And McDowell Brown house. I think it says 1910. And don't see anything designating what that structure is there. We got some old churches. It's an old Methodist church. Well, it's not too old. This is 86. And we got this one here. Ashburn Methodist Church. It doesn't have a date. Oh, there we go, 1911 for that one. Check out the old street clock right there. Greeneville Federal Bank. And we're gonna keep on going. Now somewhere around here is supposed to be a replica of the old Capitol building, because Greeneville used to be the capital of the state of Franklin, which existed right before Tennessee was established for a short time. So this was the capital of that state. And somewhere around here is a replica of the Capitol building that they used back then. But it's not marked on this little map that I've got. And it's not marked on my Apple map. So far, most of these businesses, I mean, we got some lawyers' offices. Most of the structures are empty, though. So we're heading down Main Street. Check out the old theater, Capitol Theater. Hopefully that's something that's still in use. What do we got here? Oh, First National Bank of Greeneville. Yeah, that's close. Ah, the Greene County Courthouse. That's pretty neat. course, they got the war memorials and the local soldiers. There's a First Presbyterian Church down there. It says 1780. So, wow. I'm going to pop up this way a little bit. And of course, there's the mural. Every town has one. So that's pretty cool. Catalyst Coffee Company, which is closed. Historic Hotels of America, National Trust. That's the trees in front of it. General Morgan Inn. I wonder if it's still in operation. Of course, everything here is closed. Either there's no businesses in these, that looks like a storage place there, or you're just, because it's, you know, Sunday. Southern Shoe Stores. Yeah, we got some construction going on here. So for a downtown area, this is pretty big. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Quilt Valley. Oh, there's an antique store. New buildings for 115, 111 Depot Street. Condominium sales and commercial availability. Lost Boys Barber Shop. Morgan Walls. Look how the streets. They've got this stone streets there. And the sidewalks. That's probably the original. It's from G.O.R. Lane store. Now open, the Gentry Beer Garden. Doesn't look like it's open. And we got another real estate place here. Tipton's Cafe. Sorry, but we're closed. Huh, I wonder what kind of shops used to be right here. There's administration office for the Greeneville City Schools. Now we got a winery here. Blue Mountain Studio. Photography looks like. Yep, Blue Mountain Photo. The former Grover C. Bird store. And that's a winery. So downtown goes all the way that way. Of course, we're not going to walk the entire way. We're going to go back and get the car, which we left parked over by Oh, there's the United States Courthouse. Erected in 1903, this building was known as the Opera House, later the Auditorium. Early road shows, minstrel shows, dance, school graduations, exercises are held here. Last used as a movie theater, Buffalo Bill Cody, and many famous theatrical tropes appeared here. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna get the camera break. Dixon Williams Mansion. Give tours at the tickets available at the General Morgan Inn. Walk with the President. Built in 1815 to 1821. Dixon Williams Mansion, John Hoy, built by Greeneville's first postmaster William Dixon and his daughter. Served as the headquarters for both Confederate and Union armies. Okay, so we're heading back down to our apartment. General Morgan Inn, Grand Central, was constructed as a railroad hotel 1887 to 1890. 1908 to 1981, operated as Hotel Brumley, carefully restored under the supervision of 7 historic preservation agencies, including National Trust of Historic Preservation, reopened in 1996 as the General Morgan Inn. That is pretty sweet. Here we got St. James Episcopal Church, 1842. That's pretty old. Look at the little garden area. Oh, is that where you go into the General? That's where you go into the hotel. General Morgan Inn. Damn, that's fancy. Look at that. Andrew Johnson Bank. Okay, here's a front view of the Presbyterian Church. In 1780. There's the General Morgan Inn. I guess that's either the front or the rear entrance. Here's where it still says Bumbly or Brumley. Brumley! Cannot talk. Another antique store. Of course, everything is bloody closed. Even the coffee shop. Opening soon. Something sweeter than sweet. Okay. So we're heading back to the car. And we're gonna go a slightly different way. Be back. So there's the sheriff's department. Right behind the courthouse. So I guess that makes sense. Here's a little sandwich shop, but of course it's closed. And we're almost back to where we started this whole thing. There's the Johnson Visitor Center. Over there is where we started. Well, we shall be back. Okay, so since this video is mostly about Andrew Johnson, we couldn't finish up that video without coming up to the Andrew Johnson National Cemetery, where him and his family are buried in. And first of all, check out this view. It's on top of the hill here in town. And look at that. Look at the Appalachians over there. That is just... Okay, so this is where Andrew Johnson, and his family are all buried. Welcome to the Andrew Johnson National Historic Site. This site commemorates the life and work of the 17th President, Andrew Johnson. Andrew Johnson National Cemetery. When I die, I want no more winding sheet than that of the brave old flag, and no softer pillow than the Constitution of my country. These are the words of Andrew Johnson, who was buried atop this hill in 1875, wrapped in a U.S. flag with a copy of the Constitution resting beneath his head. His wife Eliza is buried beside him under a stately monument erected by the family in 1878. Their immediate family members and many descendants are also buried in this family plot. The President's burial site was designated a national cemetery in 1906. The War Department developed and maintained it until 1942. Its management was then transferred to the National Park Service and became part of the Andrew Johnson National Historic Site. So here we go. So you can only walk around the perimeter. Makes sense, because people will be people. You can desecrate. Here's Margaret, his daughter. Andrew Johnson Patterson, I think that was a grandson. Martha over there. Belle Patterson. Vance Street, died in 1891, 32 years. David Trotter Patterson, died in 1891, age 73 years. Judge, First Judicial Circuit, and U.S. Senator. Andrew Johnson Jr., age 26 years. And there it is, the memorial. President Andrew Johnson, 17th President of the United States. And his devoted wife next to him. There's his two sons, Robert and Charles. Oops. Mary Johnson Stover and his daughters. Sarah Whitesides. I can barely read that one. There's some of the grandchildren. So, these beautiful trees. Alright, be back. Okay, all around the hill and down there you got the graves of others. Soldiers that have fought in other battles and their wives. Wonder why they have the, I mean, I'm sure, there's a reason for it. But the wife is always turned facing the opposite way of the husband. It's interesting. Okay. But man, view of those mountains. Of course, I've hiked up in there, my son and I. That's how I've learned about Greeneville. And yeah, my son is dealing with a lot of stuff right now. So, the reason why we're doing this, instead of being out on that, in the mountains somewhere. Hopefully, we can get through these issues that he's dealing with. Not going to go into details, but and do everything I can to support him. And for, things to get back to normal, however that may be. So that's gonna do it for this little video. Hopefully it was semi-interesting. Check out all our other videos on the channel, and subscribe, of course. Have a paranormal investigation coming up. It's not at the Harriman Hospital, but it will be at the Smith County Courthouse in Carthage, Tennessee. That's coming up in a couple weeks. Not sure when we'll be back on the trail. I'm hoping soon. So keep your stick on the ice, y'all, and I'll see y'all soon.